When supporting individuals with developmental disabilities in learning activities of daily living, the ultimate goal is independence. Whether it's brushing teeth, dressing, preparing simple meals, or managing hygiene, each mastering of these skills is a step toward autonomy and dignity. One of the most effective tools in achieving this independence is the strategic use of prompt fading. It's an art, subtle, intentional, and respectful, that ensures individuals are not simply performing tasks, but learning them in ways that last. Prompting is a necessary part of teaching. Prompts are the supports we use to help someone complete a task they don't yet know how to do. These can include physical guidance, gestures, verbal cues, visual aids, or modeling. However, if we rely on prompts too long or use them too heavily, we run the risk of creating prompt dependency, where the individual learns to wait for help instead of attempting the task on their own. That's where fading comes in. Prompt fading means gradually reducing the level of assistance until the individual can complete the task independently or with minimal support. The art lies in knowing how and when to fade. Too fast, and the person may become frustrated or give up. Too slow, and they may come to believe they can't do it without help. Fading should always be paced according to the learner's response, not just whether they get the task done, but how confidently and consistently they do it. Care staff must observe closely and be flexible, adjusting their level of support in real time based on how the learner is doing that day. Some days they may need a bit more help, other days they may surprise you. It's also important to match the type of prompt to the task and the individual. Physical prompts are often the most direct, but should be faded quickly to avoid creating dependency. Verbal prompts should be short and clear, with consistent wording and gradually reduced in volume or frequency. Visual prompts, like picture schedules, can be excellent for fostering independence because they don't require another person to be present. Whatever prompt you use, you should be thinking from the beginning about how you will eventually fade it. One of the best ways to fade prompts is through a process called least to most or most to least prompting, depending on the learner's needs. With most to least, you start with a higher level of support and fade down as the person shows understanding. With least to most, you give the person a chance to try independently and only increase the level of prompting as needed. The choice between the two depends on the task, the setting, and the person's history with that skill. Whichever approach you choose, consistency and documentation are key. It helps everyone on the team know what's working and what still needs tweaking. Reinforcement plays a critical role in fading. When a person successfully completes a task with less help than before, that moment should be acknowledged and celebrated. Positive reinforcement, whether it's praise, a smile, or something the person enjoys, helps build confidence and motivation. Fading doesn't mean removing support abruptly, but replacing one kind of support with another, from hands-on help to encouragement, from reminders to self-monitoring strategies. Here's an example. A direct care staff is teaching Marcus, a young man with an intellectual disability, how to brush his teeth. At first, the staff uses hand-over-hand prompting, gently guiding Marcus through each step. After a week, Marcus begins to anticipate some steps, so the staff fades to a partial physical prompt, touching his hand to initiate the motion but not guiding it. Next, the staff shifts to gestural prompts, pointing to the toothbrush or the toothpaste. Eventually, a visual sequence card is placed near the sink. Marcus begins to check the card on his own, brush independently, and only needs a verbal prompt to remind him to rinse. Over time, even that fades, and brushing becomes part of Marcus's morning routine without any outside prompting. Each stage was deliberate and tailored to his progress. Mastering prompt fading requires more than just following a plan. It demands attentiveness, patience, and a deep respect for the learner. Each person is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. Some individuals may take weeks to fade off one prompt, others may move more quickly. There is no one-size-fits-all, and that's why this is an art, not just a science. Knowing your learner well, Building trust and understanding their motivations will help you recognize the right moment to step back. In the end, the goal isn't just to teach a task, it's to empower a person. Prompt fading, done well, builds not just skills, but confidence, pride, and a sense of ownership over one's daily life. It shifts the focus from dependency to capability. For direct care staff, embracing the art of prompt fading is one of the most powerful ways to make a lasting difference.